Hi guys, thanks for joining here. We're going to give it a few more minutes. All right, everyone, welcome. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to be talking about Apple search ads. This session will be focused on how you can drive enterprise value and business growth using the most important channel for app marketers. Just some housekeeping items here. All attendees are going to be in listen-only mode. You can submit your questions via the Q&A feature to be answered live, and this webinar recording and slides will be shared following the session. Just wanted to start off by introducing ourselves. Nice to meet everyone. My name is Holly. I oversee app strategy for Skai. We have a few other folks joining us today who will be presenting and speaking. Justin True, who leads our client success team for apps. Casey Gordon, product marketing manager, and Kate McKay is our guest speaker, director of performance media at Spark, and she'll be answering some Q&A questions at the end. All right, on our agenda today, we have some exciting news that we're going to share with you guys. Then we're going to go into an intro to Apple search ads and share some very interesting statistics regarding Apple and the industry. And a majority of our time will be spent across leveraging how you guys can be leveraging Skai for your ASA program, which Justin will be leading. And he will finish it off with an interview and Q&A session with our very own Kate McKay, one of our agency clients. I'm actually going to hand it over to Casey now to kick things off.
Thanks, Holly. Hi, everyone. We wanted to take this opportunity to introduce you to our new company name, which is Skai. The brand comprises both the Kenshoo and Signals Analytics entities combined. Under the Skai name, we have a vision for the future of our industry and of data intelligence in general, and a brand promise to solve for the challenges of a disconnected go-to-market. That solution includes many offerings, some of which we already have, and others that we're working to build. We're excited to expand our offering to include consumer and market intelligence, strategic planning and testing, omni-channel media activation, and incremental measurement for the world's biggest brands and agencies. So now moving into our Apple search ads overview, so our focus for today. If anyone is new to Apple search ads advertising, this slide demonstrates what they actually look like. If you were to go to the Apple search ads site, this is how they define them. Apple search ads is an efficient and easy way to help people discover your app at the top of App Store search results. Essentially, what this means is when you advertise on Apple search ads, your ad is going to appear at the very top when users are searching for something relevant to you. Put simply, they're search ads for the Apple App Store. Advertisers can bid on exact keywords or more typically a broad match for keywords of their choice. More recently, Apple released a new ad format called Search Tab Ads, which further expands your opportunity for growth on ASA. So Apple's numbers show just how influential the App Store is to drive installs. The exciting part about ASA is there are so many intent-driven users that are searching for apps. What this translates over to is that of all App Store visitors, 70% of them use search to find apps. And what's exciting about that is your ads are appearing at the top of that search. Moving to the second stat, 65% of all downloads on the App Store occur after a search has taken place. And lastly, the average conversion rate is 50%. So what that means is people will download your app 50% of the time when your ad appears. These are really encouraging numbers that show the true potential of advertising on Apple. So that brings us to what app marketing has looked like over the past year or so due to COVID. People have spent more time on their phones than ever before. This is the reality we live in today. It's staggering, and all the trends are showing that this is where the future is headed. So why now? Why should I as an advertiser care? What has changed in the industry that has elevated the performance of app advertising? These are just a few areas. First, mobile app usage has grown 40% year over year in the second quarter of 2020. This translates to 200 billion hours worldwide spent on consumer phones. Next, these people are using their phones to combat boredom. They're using apps for delivery, for gaming, streaming. The list really goes on. These behaviors are proving to show a lasting impact, and we expect that they're here to stay. So in just like that 1 year, apps are even more important now than ever. Here are some pretty mind-blowing industry app stats. We're able to see here how big the opportunity is and how much it's growing. Looking back at 2020, the projection was $582 billion in App Store revenue. When we look forward, projecting revenue for Apple search skyrockets to $935 billion. So putting this all into perspective, in Q1 last year, in 2020, just in a few months, there was $15 billion in sales. So you can see how much upside there is. There's truly so much opportunity in front of us. Now, when people are searching on the web, it's a mobile game. The majority of consumer time is spent on mobile is within apps. So you can see here that this should be a key marketing battleground where you should be spending the majority of your time. So that brings us to the next question, which is why start with Apple? The main reason is revenue has just steadily grown at a much more rapid rate in the App Store versus Google Play. While there's definitely a lot of volume to be had with the Google Play Store, you're getting more for your money when you're acquiring Apple installs. iOS drove an average of $4 per download, which is 4 times that of Android. As you can see, there's just simply more money to be made from Apple. And then this brings me to what ASA has looked like for Skai over the past year. ASA has been our fastest growing channel across all Skai publishers. ASA grew at a faster rate than we even expected, and it continues to grow at a rapid pace. Leading into Q1 2021, we saw a 208% year-over-year growth. These numbers are extremely encouraging for us to see and reinforce to you the amazing opportunity that's in front of you. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Holly to talk a bit more about leveraging Skai for app marketers.
Awesome. Thanks, Casey. All right, we're going to talk here about how app marketers are leveraging our platform. So let's talk a bit more about Skai App Solution and how app marketers are leveraging the technology that we offer. At Skai, we are the #1 platform to drive user acquisition and re-engagement for your app program. You're able to leverage our platform across the most premium channels. You're able to see your publisher data and post-install metrics to make more effective decisions to your app advertising program. We work with all the MMPs in the industry, so you're able to optimize towards down the funnel metrics. Today, we're going to be focusing on Apple Search Ads, which is a channel we have been seeing phenomenal success with since the start of our partnership with Apple back in November 2018. This is the fastest growing channel today across all Skai publishers. We work with both direct app developers as well as leading agencies across the globe who support app promotion. We really provide value as in our best-in-class technology that allows for unification of data across publishers and MMPs. Advertisers are able to use our advanced technology to save time, improve their overall performance, and pull deeper insights using the data that matters most. And lastly, our strong partnership with Apple enables us to be first to market with product roadmap features. Now, these are the three key areas that our technology provides value to app marketers who are leveraging our solution. Skai tools help you save time through streamlining your campaign creation and management processes. So no more manual work. You have that ability to create, manage, and edit in bulk within a few clicks. We drive better performance for your ASA campaigns by providing our full funnel bid optimization algorithm. Taking into consideration all the events you are optimizing towards, we're able to adjust bids based on hitting your KPIs. And lastly, we help you pull deeper insights through unifying your channel data and your MMP data into a singular location and providing advanced tools to uncover learnings. At the end of the day, we are flexible and we can cater to your specific needs. So we support both self-service and transitional expert service models. You will have a dedicated team that works closely with you. Justin, who will be speaking next, his team are app experts. They are the reasons clients continue to work with us, and will be focusing on making sure that you're comfortable on the platform and leveraging and maximizing all the tools to help you grow your app program and drive ROI. If you are in need of resources internally to help boost your app program, we can also have our expert services team manage your activity for a period of time as well. And we also have certified agency partners who manage Apple Search Ads for their clients, leveraging the Skai Apps platform. So ultimately, there are several options and ways that you guys can work with us. I'm going to hand it over now to Justin, who's going to highlight a few key areas of how you can be leveraging our platform, and then go into a Q&A session with Kate.
All right, let's jump into this. So a lot of what clients come to us for when they're first looking for a third-party platform to help manage their Apple Search Ads campaigns is going to be around scale and around workflow efficiencies. Sometimes those go hand in hand as to, you leverage these workflow efficiencies to scale. So the first thing I want to highlight to help our advertisers who are leveraging our platform to do this is campaign mirroring. So we've really built our tool to help our clients scale into new markets and new targeting groups with ease. So what you're able to do with Kenshoo apps, Skai apps, I knew I was going to do that, is select all of your campaigns and quickly mirror all of these campaigns either into a new geo or into a new targeting group, say from new users to returning users in just a few clicks. And so in this next video, I'll show you how that's possible. I don't know if you guys can hear the sound, but if you can't hear the sound, I'll kind of walk you through what's happening here. First of all, we have dynamic placeholders where you can select your geo to be dynamically pulled into campaign names. So now you're seeing we're launching into all three of these new geos, and it's pulling in all three of these new campaign names, these new geos into the campaign name. So making your geo expansion into 3-4 clicks as opposed to doing them one at a time. So let's just say you're taking your entire campaign structure, so your brand targeted campaigns, your competitor campaigns, your generic campaigns, you can select all of those at once and launch them into these 3 new geos in just one flow. So beyond this, we offer some keyword management capabilities that really help our advertisers refine and perfect their keyword strategy. So what does that mean, right? So let's say you have your discovery campaigns leveraging Apple's really awesome discovery feature called Search Match, or if you are leveraging their broad targeted keywords, what you can do is perform SQRs within our platform, taking a look at all the search terms that are coming up from your discovery campaigns and throwing it into what we call our keyword manager. And from our keyword manager, you're able to either explore new keywords or add to your ad groups in bulk. And again, I'll show you how this works in this short video here. I'll just turn off this. So here we have some new keywords where we're looking to get additional suggestions outside of what Apple is already pulling in from your discovery terms. And then here you'll see we have a couple of new keywords that we're selecting from this dropdown. Once you hit submit, it'll pull back into our keyword manager. From here, you can assign your keywords as positive to ad groups in bulk. And you see here that we're adding to ad groups by tag. And so what adding to ad groups by tag allows you to do is, if, for example, you have, based on what we were showing earlier, if you were expanding to new markets and you had similar ad groups, so let's just say you had competitor ad groups across multiple geos. So let's say you were running in Canada, UK, US, Australia, but you had similar competitors in each of those geos, and you wanted to add a list of new keywords across all of those different ad groups. You can tag all of those ad groups with a competitor tag and leverage our keyword manager to add all of these new keywords as positive targeted keywords to all of these ad groups in bulk. This also applies to managing your negative. So within that same flow, let me just jump quickly to the end of this so you can see what that looks like. You can see here that, just jump back a little bit and see if it shows you the negatives. So when I'm assigning keywords, I also have the ability to assign these as negative, right? So if I was adding these from my discovery, these search terms from my discovery campaign, I can also negate them at the same time. So I can add them as positive to my ad groups in bulk and then negate them from my discovery campaigns, just to ensure that these are no longer surfacing in my my discovery campaigns, and the traffic is only being allocated to these new exact keywords that I'm adding to my ad groups. And lastly, Holly called this out earlier, but we do have a full funnel bid optimizing tool that allows you to essentially, once you connect your MMP to our platform, we're able to receive all of that data through postbacks, so we can start tracking all of your MMP data, so from the install to the lower funnel metrics, and we will allow you to optimize towards those lower funnel metrics using our bid optimization tool. So essentially what you would do is set up a target CPA based on your CPI, cost per registration, and then let's just say after the registration, you have a subscription event. You can really set up the bid optimization tool to optimize to however many events that you want, but this allows you to then optimize towards your true KPIs, your true north KPIs, and allow our system to do that for you based on these rules that you're setting up within our platform. So if we're going back to that example that I presented earlier, where you're now expanding from, let's just say you started off with just US, you're expanding to UK, you're expanding to Canada, and you know, let's just say 10 different markets. And not only do you have new users, but you also have returning user campaigns. Your keyword, the amount of keywords that you're managing can go from, you know, a couple hundred to thousands, right? And to think about managing that manually can be quite tedious. And so a lot of advertisers have found a lot of success leveraging our bid optimization tool to ease all of that, the keyword management, and allow them to focus more on budget management, and potentially leveraging creative sets, testing creative sets, or any other new strategies that they're looking to implement outside of managing their keyword bids on a day-to-day. Cool. And with that, I'd like to call on Kate to answer a couple of questions. Hey, Kate.
Hi.
Cool. So, just want to see if you could give us a little bit, or give the audience a little bit about your experience onboarding to Kenshoo apps, and what was the impact that you saw in your campaigns within the first 30 days of onboarding?
Yeah, so I think anyone that has ever gone through onboarding to a new management platform probably has experiences with some bumps in the road, but overall integrating with Skai apps was really smooth, all things considering, especially thinking about how you're taking multiple sources of data and trying to connect them to one platform and making sure that that all stacks up and it's coming in appropriately. There's a lot of moving pieces, but it was probably one of the smoothest transitions or onboarding processes that I've been through. Skai support was super helpful in all of those steps. There's a lot of things that we would have to do on our end with the MMP and making sure that that was set up correctly, and the directions that we got were very clear. So it was very straightforward to implement on our end, and overall we were up and running rather quickly and able to optimize pretty much right off the bat, and the impact that we saw was basically immediate. Being able to see everything in one place and make optimizations, we definitely saw impacts to our CPI pretty much right away.
Awesome, and you really nailed Skai apps. You did much better than I did.
I did it.
Yeah, no, it was great working with you and your team on onboarding. Yeah, just so for everyone, it typically takes less than 30 minutes to get everything connected with our platform. It's just an easy login process to get the Apple data integrated, and then with the MMP, it's just a couple of copy and pastes, which our team is more than happy to walk anyone through. But next question is just which Kenshoo feature has had the most significant impact on your performance, and can you give us a little bit more details on why that had an impact on performance?
Yeah, well, there's actually a lot of features that are super helpful. After working in the Apple Ads UI itself, which is very, very limited, there's not a lot you can do there. Skai apps really open the door to a lot of optimizations that you just went through in the deck previously. I think the single most impactful thing that was really felt was just having the data all in one place, having the MMP data and the UI data there in one UI. It saves so much time with pulling reports and trying to match back data, doing VLOOKUPs, all of that. It's just cut out that whole workflow, which saved a ton of time. Also being able to see everything in one place, it just was able to make real optimizations. There's just so much more data in front of us that was readily available, so it makes everything far more actionable. So yeah, just having that data all in one place is really it's basically the most important feature, because after that, everything else falls in place.
Yeah, and I think one other feature that I do want to call out too that we worked with your team on is we did actually leverage the campaign mirroring, and I think that was helpful for you guys, because one thing that a lot of advertisers love to do too is, instead of just focusing on just one specific audience where you're targeting age and you're targeting anything that allows the MMP to track a user, some folks like to split out trackable users versus non-trackable users, and having the ability to quickly mirror that and manage all of that in one place was also very helpful.
Oh yeah, that was super, super helpful. Just because, I mean, again, doing those things in the Apple UI is very, very tedious and not clear cut. So being able to mirror and just get to the settings right away was hugely impactful, because then we were able to see those different audiences very clearly.
Cool. Last one here. Why is Skai apps and Apple search ads important to an advertiser looking to promote an app? And how does Apple search ads fit into their overall or your overall marketing strategy?
Yeah. Well, I think it's no surprise we've all heard this over the past year. That was, it was incredibly disruptive in many ways, and especially in well, not especially, but in this context for apps, they just blew up over the past year, and the growth was exponential. And then specifically for restaurant apps, even more so, because it became something that you almost had to have at one point to get things and to order food and drinks and what have you. So I think apps and Apple ads specifically have always been very important, but that has just been magnified over the past year, and that's going to continue. And some of the upfront stats that Casey went over earlier just really show how important Apple search ads is. It seems like, like, why would I advertise there? People already know what they're looking for, but they don't always. And there's a lot of advertising action that happens there, and surprisingly, a lot of conquesting that happens there. Like, you have to be covering your branded terms because your competitors are, if you are not. So, it's definitely proven to be very important from just a table stakes inventory perspective, but also efficient inventory, because in the grand scheme of apps, it is definitely one of the most efficient places for installs in regards to CPI. So overall, I think that Apple search ads has always played a role in marketing campaigns and efforts, sometimes a smaller one, but over the past year, and with tools like Skai apps that really help with optimizations and growth, it's definitely playing a much larger role.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Kay. I think we're really seeing and hearing a lot of the same from our clients. Is Apple search ads is one of the more efficient and effective channels. And really, it's like when you go to the App Store, a lot of what happens is you're going in there, you're searching for something that you're looking for. So I think you want your brand to show up there and not your competitors at the end of the day. So cool. I think that's everything we had from us. I can move on to Q&A, but thanks, Kate. Really appreciate you showing up.
Thank you.
All right, let's check the questions. Cool, so we have one. If I had a nickel for this question, I'd be rich, but how is Skai or Skai clients managing the effects of ATT adoption or iOS 14.5? So if any of you guys are new to the mobile app space, Apple introduced a privacy feature called app transparency tracking that essentially forces all app developers to now prompt their users on whether or not they want to be tracked. And you can either show this prompt and see whether or not your users want to opt in, or decide not to show the prompt. And if you decide not to show the prompt, essentially what happens is all users are automatically opted out of tracking. So this has really disrupted the space in terms of how advertisers are thinking about advertising, essentially, or spending their media dollars. And so adoption rate has been quite slow, but it's been picking up a lot lately in terms of whether or not users are opting out of being tracked. But essentially, what a lot of our advertisers are doing to manage their budgets and their spend within and their strategies within Apple search ads is keeping an eye on how the adoption rate is looking like and what the opt-out rate looks like. If they are starting to see their MMP events drop off because users are opting out to being tracked, we're essentially discussing how we should manage strategies moving forward. What some advertisers are doing is if they're starting to see a large drop-off, they are taking a look at their organics and seeing if organic numbers are starting to increase, then coming up with a blended number between their what is actually being tracked versus what the increase is looking like on the organic side. Other things our advertisers are doing is leveraging historical conversion rates for their campaigns previously and applying that to Apple Search Ads install metrics. But we're continuing on our side for Skai Apps, we're continuing to work very closely with MMPs and with the Apple Search Ads team to see if there's anything, the MMPs are doing to, maybe come up with some probabilistic modeling that we can ingest. But at the end of the day, we're trying to figure out, how we can continue to provide the data for our clients to confidently manage their campaigns. We have another question here based on campaign mirroring. So this question actually comes up a lot, so thank you for asking this. Are you able to duplicate campaigns across ad accounts? So this question comes up a lot because we have advertisers that split up their campaigns based on region into different ad accounts. So what our system is actually able to do, so the answer is yes, you can. There's just one extra step that you have to take, but you'll connect your different ad accounts, but you do have the ability to duplicate your entire campaign structure into and across different campaign groups or ad accounts. Last one we have here is, can you customize your bidding strategy when using your bid optimization algorithm? Good question. This one also comes up a lot. Yes, you do have the ability to customize your bidding strategy. So you can set a very high level bidding strategy across all of your campaigns. We typically recommend that you do split this up just because all of our bidding happens down at the keyword level. And so it is typically recommended that once you're setting up these bidding strategies, just make sure that you are splitting it between brand, competitor, generic, just because we know that your brand keywords are going to perform very differently when compared to your competitor keywords, right? Because when you're conquesting your competitor keywords, you're going to be paying a little bit more of a premium price for conversions on your competitors than if someone were to come and look for your brand and they're going to want to download your app just because they are specifically looking for your brand within Apple Search Ads. So yes, you can customize it, and our team is usually there to guide you through the creation of these bidding strategies when you first start out with our bid optimization feature. Any other questions? That was mostly it going down the list that we have here. Cool. If there are any more questions, thank you everyone for joining. I hope that you found this enablement session helpful. And again, it will be recorded and sent out, but if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to any of us. Our contact was posted earlier in this slide, which you probably don't have on hand, but we'll send out the slide and the recording after this session. But thanks again for joining, everyone.